Hello folks, this recording is for Pre-Algebra Chapter 6, Lesson 5, Proportions and Percents. And this is a hint, is number, or the is number, over the of number. Alright, so that's something to help you think about this. And some reminders, proportions are two fractions that equal each other. So if you have to use a proportion to solve something, you have to have two fractions. Second reminder, to write a percent as a fraction, stick the percent over 100. You don't have to do anything special to it, just stick it over 100. Number 3, is means a smaller part of something, all right? And number 4, of means all of the parts, which is really the whole. So of means the whole, is means the part, okay? So let's go ahead and talk about this. We need to have two fractions because we're going to solve this problem. 25% of 124 is something. We're going to do it using a proportion. So again, we need two fractions, and they have to equal each other because that is the definition of a proportion, which is what we're going to use to solve this problem. Okay? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to stick something over 100. And it's always going to be the percent, whether we know it or not. So since we know the percent, it's going to go over 100. And just 25, you don't need to add the percentage sign. We know it's a percentage because you stuck it over 100. Okay? And then we're going to figure out the ofs and the is's. Well, it is always the is, which is the part, over the of, which is the whole. So the of is 124, and that goes on the bottom. And the is, well, we don't know, and it goes on the top. We're going to go ahead and solve this using cross product. So what we don't know, and I made this M, and sometimes I'm just going to use question marks, sometimes I'll use letters. They're interchangeable because we don't know them. Because we don't know them, we're supposed to use variable, but I got a little lazy today. Okay, so it's going to be M times 100 is equal to 124 times 25. And it's our job to solve for M. So 124 times 25 is 3,100, which still equals 100 times M. Divide by M, M's cancel out, and even really the two zeros cancel out. 31 over, canceled out too, by the way. 31 over 1 is just 31. So 25% of 124 is 31. So let's say I have 142 jelly beans, and I say to you, I'm feeling generous, so I'm going to give you 25% of my 124 jelly beans. That means I'm giving you 31 jelly beans. But don't ask me for jelly beans tomorrow because I don't have any, okay? All right, so moving on. Just remember that the of is the whole of an amount. If I'm giving you something of something, I'm giving you a part of it, all right? Part of this whole amount. And that is the smaller part of it, okay? All right, so it's always part over whole is equal to percentage over 100, or you can say is over of is equal to the percentage over 100. But this part, yep. And this basically means the same thing. So it just matters which way you want to remember it and which way you remember it best. Which way you remember best. It's your choice. Either part over whole equals percentage over 100 or is over of equals percentage over 100. It's your choice which way you remember it. Okay, so what is 43% of 230? What is that? 43% of 230 is blank. Well, we know that the of is the whole, because it's of an amount, and we're trying to find out what 43% of that is. Okay, so whole, part, don't know, so I'm going to make it n. So n over 230, the part over the whole, is equal to 43%, and 43%, since this is percent, we stick it over 100. I have two fractions. I don't know the numerator of one of them, but I can use cross product to help me figure it out. So n times 100 is 100n. 230 times 43 is 9,890, and I'm going to divide by 100 on both sides to figure out n. Well, n is 98.9. So unfortunately, this isn't going to work very well with jelly beans. If I say I have 230 jelly beans and I'm going to give you 43% of them, I'd have to cut a jelly bean into a ninth. That's not going to happen. Maybe you have 230 pages and you need to read 43% of them by Monday. Well, you're going to have to read 98 pages and then a ninth of another page to make sure you do it. Okay? All right, next question. What percent of 250 is 138? So in this case, we have the of and the is. We know the whole and the part, but we don't know the percentage. Okay? So it's going to be the is over the of, in this case 138 over 250, and we're trying to figure out what the percentage is, but remember the percentage is always over 100. There we go. Well, yeah, there you go. And then we're going to use cross product to solve. So 138 times 100 is equal to, well, 250 times the percentage, which in this case is just a number. Don't worry about moving things like we did in the last lesson. So 138 times 100 is 13,800. Divide that by 250 on both sides, and we get a percentage of 55.2%. So if I have 250 jelly beans and I gave you 138 of them, I gave you 55.2% of my jelly beans. Okay? All right, so number 3, 14 is what percent of 15? Well, we know the part, we know the whole, we don't know the percentage. By the way, 14 is the part, 15 is the whole, because of the of is the whole, the is the part. Okay, so is over of, 14 over 15 is equal to some percentage over 100. Do some cross products, do some math, do some division and multiplication, and you're going to get 93.3 repeating percent. All right, and remember that's what the little bar means, repeating. All right, number 4, 207 is 46% of what number? Well, we know the is, which is the part. We know the of is a question mark. Because of what? We have no idea. And we know the percentage, which is 46. So we've got the part, 207, over something that we don't know, because we don't know how much the whole is. And we know that it's 46% over 100. Do some cross products. And we've got ourselves a whole. All right? 450. So if I gave you 207 of my jelly beans, and I told you that was 46% of the jelly beans I had, I originally had 450 jelly beans, which is quite a bit of jelly beans. Yep, jelly beans, lots of them. All right, moving on. Next question. We have collected $360 so far. For what? I don't know, but we collected $360. This is a question, hypothetical, not a real situation. I have no money to give you. We have collected $360 so far, which is 53% of our goal. What was our goal? So if we're 53% of the way there, how much did we want total? So 360 is the part, we know the percentage, and we don't know the whole. That's the question, right? So again, it's 360 over something is equal to 53% over 100. Cross product, there we go, divide, and we had a goal of $679.25, and I even rounded that 25 cents. I think it was 24 point something else cents, or it might have been 25.1 cents, which is a little crazy. This number doesn't work out very well, but there you go, all right? You need to be really good at identifying the parts and the wholes for this, guys. You've got to be able to figure out what the small of it is and what the total of it is. And then again, the total is the whole, okay? The part is the small part. All right, moving on. All right, so round to the nearest tenth. 19 is 75% of what number? We've got a part, which is 19, over a whole that we don't know, is equal to 75 over 100 because the percentage is always over 100. Never forget that. Cross product, 19 times 100 is 1,900 is equal to 75 times something. Divide by 75 on both sides. And that whole, that thing that was the total, was 25.3. And I did round to the nearest tenth because if I'm not mistaken, it was 25.3 repeating. I think it was. You can do the math on that one, check. But I do know that it rounded to 25.3. Okay, last slide. In 2000, the number of drive-in movie screens was about 20.1% of the number in 1980. Find the number of drive-in screens in 1980. Well, in 2000, we had 717 screens. So we're going to need to know that information. The thing is that since we know that the number of screens in 2000 is less than the number in 1980, which was before I was born, folks, is the smaller amount. Hold on. Sorry about that. Somebody walked into my classroom. All right, so again, the number of movie screens in 2000 is smaller than the number of movie screens in 1980 by 20.1%, actually. So let's go ahead and set up our percentage slash our proportion. So since the year 2000 number of screens is smaller than that of the 1980s, 717 is the is. It is the part. All right. The of is how many there were in 1980. We don't know, so it's a question mark. And it's going to equal the percentage, 20.1% over 100. Because again, percentage goes over 100. Cross product time. 717 times 100 is 71,700 equals 20.1 times how many movie theaters there were in 1980, or at least drive-in movie theaters. Now we're going to divide by 20.1, divide by 20.1, cancels out, and we're going to get 3,567 drive-in movie screens in 1980. All right, I'm done. Talk to you guys later. Bye. Sorry about the interruption. Bye.